Well, have you got
He's
the clip yet?
misunderstanding
The
me.
gout?
Nathan actually put him in his place when he spoke
Oh, he's
out of
gone.
turn.
That's
Yeah,
bad,
he
guys.
doesn't
Of
want
course
to
he
hear
is.
it.
Yeah,
At
he
least
knows
it's
he's
less
wrong.
expensive for you guys. Now he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for the transcript right now, and it hasn't processed yet, so I'll have to
No,
cherry
you have
pick it.
to do the video. It's like a day or so after the video, or it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of doing a video from it right now, but it's rendering, so I can't really look at the transcript. But yeah, he said something to the effect of local gravity is plumb, and it pulls down and creates the horizontal at 90 degrees. And then he started making fun of Wesley because like Wesley doesn't understand that. And then of course Oakley jumped in and said, wait. That's what the globe says. We don't believe in that. And then he goes, no, Wesley, you still don't get it. Da, 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 da. And he said the same thing again. And then he basically got quiet.
What,
Yeah, it
so
was funny.
what do you think of today? You think that was a positive for this
Well, yeah,
case?
I mean, they couldn't present any evidence, and they couldn't refute any evidence. So, I mean, I would say it's a net. Yeah, net plus.
You know, he's looking for somewhere new because the Divergent Droid, the guy who has been his YouTube mod
Mm-hmm.
for years, that server that he's on, he's like one of the most strict people I know. I mean, he timed us out for like 7 days, so 10th Man and all of them could do whatever, and then he banned us for nothing really. So
Yeah,
Nathan's not going to get anyone to go over there and challenge him. It's just a circle of nodding people, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
when he comes over here, he released that fucking the beast.
No, he's just angry. I mean, he's just following his leader, though. I think that's how I see it.
Don't know who's the leader. Like Nathan's just.
Well, I mean, he's been around him a lot, right? Maybe he's not his leader, but he's like definitely someone that he's adopted personality traits from. Like clearly, you heard that 90 seconds ago.
Harp, no, Harp's been around long. I think longer than Nathan.
That's
but
all right.
Harp's been in these arenas, but Nathan's never been in anything like this. He doesn't know how to, these conversations go, because you guys have all built an etiquette, right? You've built this arena around the flat versus globe and the conversation that keeps going. Nathan's not really, that was probably about as most challenging as he's ever been. And he did,
Actually,
people were getting
when Nathan
muted.
started, though, when Nathan started, he used to let Globers get there. So I used to joke about it. Nathan actually used to let Globers sound smart. The 1 through 50, his first episodes. I remember what the hell
Yeah,
is his
because he
damn
was
name?
selling it like you are here now, right?
He would
That's the
let
whole point.
everybody talk in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it turned into,
You think QE came in?
eat my nuts, and not letting anybody talk. I mean, they'd say a couple things, and then it'd be.
So I'll give you
yeah.
Thank you, Bear. Please. I'll give you an example of something that I found fascinating with Nathan earlier. I read 2 sentences from, if you're looking in wide chat, spherical geometry concepts. Now this is out of the documentation of the Google Maps API, and all I did was read the first 2 sentences, and he cut me off. And I'll read the first 2 sentences really quick. It's not much. The images within the Maps JavaScript API are 2-dimensional and flat. The Earth, however, is 3-dimensional and is often approximated as either an oblate spheroid or more as a sphere. He cut me off there, and he said that somehow that I contradicted myself, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but with the first sentence and the second sentence, that if images, in other words, if you're looking on a computer screen or a piece of paper, right, like an image, within the Maps JavaScript are 2-dimensional and flat, that somehow means Earth can't be a sphere. Now tell me if I'm misinterpreting that interpretation, because that's what he told me.
I've had this thing with Nathan for, he claims to be this logical genius, right? But there's one of the most basic fallacies that you can have within, logical concepts is the map is not the territory, right? And considering the map like the territory is a fallacious thought. It's not considered good. Now, we know, let's say there, the maps are 2D, right? They are flat. So considering the territory to be flat like the maps is committing the map territory fallacy. And
Sure, but
Nathan
even take
does it directly.
well, but we're removing like I guess I would say one significant like it's not even maps, right? It's just talking about the images. It's simply saying that the images within the maps JavaScript API are two-dimensional and flat, i.e., what's produced for you to look at on a screen is two-dimensional. And I'd be hard pressed to find someone that disagrees with that statement. And apparently Nathan wanted to take that and twist it and then mute me. Right. And it's like, okay, like I didn't even get through this. He told me he was going to let me read it. He cut me off and said I had contradicted myself. I said, explain how images aren't 2D. And, at that point, of course, I said too much. I was just out of line. Right.
Bamboozled all of the people watching, right? That it's your fault, your contradiction, whereas he's committing the map territory fallacy. He's considering the territory, the earth, to be flat like the map, and he gets away with it, right? Because he redirects it, but it's only because people don't see the fallacy that Nathan's committing, because logic's been lost. People can't see it. If you've got no logic, then you won't be likely to be able to see the fallacy that's being committed right in front of your face. And it's like magic, really. If you don't see it, and yet he's doing it right in front of your face.
Well, he can raise his blood pressure to 250 over 140 or something crazy, and then just say, yeah, if you guys want to follow me and give me a PayPal and this and that, have a nice day. It's like,
it's like an actor, isn't it? Like that.
Well, he's classically trained. He's a classically trained actor, though.
Well, I wouldn't say that. He's probably done a college course on.
I'm pretty sure he is.
He didn't. Okay. He jumped. He went out of that and then went into technical arts. He went into the technical stage managing and painting props. And then he's claimed he's sort of a sound engineer type, with microphones and shit. But he's not an actor.
Oh.
Well, he's definitely putting on an act.
That's a character. Yes, that is a character that he's made over the years.
Yeah.
And like I say, he says there's no debate, right? But his show's called Flat Earth Debate. Now, what he has actually done over 10 years is completely changed the idea of what debate is by putting flat earth in the front of it. Because now it's just an angry man shouting at people about them questioning him about his perceived expertise. But he can't talk about it. He just shouts and gets angry at people for asking him questions about things. So, I mean, that's what Flat Earth Debate is. What you heard earlier in here, that's actually Flat Earth Debate. And when people hear Flat Earth Debate, that's what they automatically go to. It's not about a reasoned debate with arguments being presented and conversation happening. It's just that guy shouting at people, and then other people going, yeah, Nathan, you killed it. Well done, Nathan. You really told him. When he didn't do anything, didn't explain anything, didn't help the flat earthers understand how the fuck you measure flat. It's ridiculous.
What are your thoughts on how a theodolite works? I'm sure you've looked into it, Bev.
You set it up on the azimuthal plane and then measure angles.
Right.
But actual surveyors don't measure vertical angles over distance.
But how do they level it? How do they level the equipment?
Set it up on the azimuthal plane, same as you set up any telescope. Or
so there's a bubble. There's like there's a bubble that looks like a bullseye, right? And the bubble will find the center whenever it's level. Yeah, and then
the azimuthal plane, right? So it would be parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Well, I mean, I know what the result is, right? But I was just asking how if you understood how, and sounds like you do. But yeah, I mean, I showed him a couple of observations, and because what you do, I mean, obviously when you level it out, and then you also have a horizontal level that the bubble will find its level. And this is a very archaic way. A lot of things are digital now, and you still have to do some work, but do a large part of like these high-end theodolites will calibrate themselves. I can show the image. Yeah, and you might push back on it, but I'll show you anyways. And it was just, I mean, you've probably seen the image before, or an image similar.
But that's save a bit of money. I bet they don't slap a certificate on themselves, though, do they?
What do you mean? Like to certify it as being calibrated or something?
Yeah.
I have no idea. That's the image that I showed him earlier.
Who's that from, Jesse?
No. Actually, no. I think it's from.
It looks like a Jesse.
It might be from Jesse.
Photo,
Yeah.
But it's like Larry.
Because I actually have a journal entry too, and you might be able to identify.
Yeah,
Kozlowski.
I mean,
Let's see what you're talking about.
Yeah, is that Jesse?
I think it is. Hold on a second. I'll tell you how the source.
Might be the main surveyor. That.
And I actually showed him well, I didn't actually get a chance to show it, but I put it in chat, and it's neither the main surveyor nor. Hold on. Let me make sure I grab the right thing. I don't want to say resin dip. Yeah. So this is the main surveyor. Yes, main surveyor.
Yeah.
But the one that I was actually more interested in was this one.
Have you seen the way he does? He measures the angles to the second.
Yeah, to the nearest. Well, what is is it plus or minus 3 arc seconds or something? I think is the error, something like that.
Like his measurements that he's wrote down to the second, aren't they?
Yeah. And there's more photos with this. I mean, you've seen these. They're on mctune.net. This is the one that I actually saw. I captured this from a Blitz video that was on the other day. I found the source for it, and it's this. And it's a little bit older, but it's a great video. It's literally showing over the course of over the course of a mile across this particular Lake Pleasant. 1 mile will show you a curve, and I actually took a still image from it. Here we go. It'll show you 8 inches off the mark, which is exactly what we would expect on a globe.
So is that the drop? Is that the drop of the water over that distance?
All right. So do you see that target there, where you can see the crosshair, basically where it has the diagonal that meets there?
And you have a side view with the crosshair doing the same thing?
Yeah.
I'll get to that. Give me 1 sec, Demark. I'm just going to explain this picture. So you see the target. The target is that red. It almost looks like what you might call it's on the top of like that tripod, right? It's orange, and then that crosshair, right where it meets, is level, and this is across a lake 1 mile across. And that measurement from that target to that line is 8 inches.
From the target, where on the target though? I mean, what's
the target that is orange? It's almost like, imagine you're shooting like a shot put, and it's an orange shot put that goes up so you can see it and shoot it with your shotgun or whatever, right? It's orange. It's like a little orange.
Yeah.
This is a lower resolution.
I can see it, but I mean, what is there to say that isn't just 8 inches lower? That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to watch the video and evaluate that for yourself. But this is just an image that I captured from it, and he has all the data. And it's not even it's what's his face, Baron Rutledge, who's another surveyor. Is he the main surveyor? He's not the main surveyor, right? It's a different guy.
I think so. I think it's the new character for the main surveyor myself.
And he's got a lot of these that show not just 1 mile, but I say he's got a lot. I want to say he had like 20 or 30 videos as I was just scrolling down looking for this particular one, because I think Blitz showed this on a live the other day, and I'd never seen it, so I thought it was cool.
Show with this, right, that he's not an actual surveyor.
How?
Because he's using an auto level over a mile.
Is it not going to produce accurate results?
I mean, what is the assumption that the water over there is 8 inches lower than the water over here?
No, he calibrated it to the same height. The targets are at the exact same height.
Sure. Yeah, and there's an 8-inch difference.
Yeah, there's an 8-inch difference from eye level.
Okay, so
but they're at the same height,
from
right?
The tool. Yeah, the tool's at the same height, but you say
the target's at the same height.
Difference.
The target is at the same height. Like if you go over there, it's measured 60 inches from water level.
There's an 8-inch difference over there.
This, if you're looking out horizontally, right? If this is perfectly 0.00, let's just call it that for the sake of the argument, then that target should be lined up exactly in the middle of the crosshair if it's flat.
But there's an 8-inch difference.
That's right.
Which means, conclusion, over there is 8 inches lower.
Can you rephrase that?
Well, I'm trying to understand, what are you concluding about this 8 inches that you've got in the picture?
We expect over short distances. I think it's like 200 or 300 miles, and then it starts to skew, but we expect the 8 inches per mile squared from a tangent to be valid. And that's what this shows, because this is a 1 mile across the lake showing an 8-inch deflection.
Okay, so if you, because you're using an auto level, if you were to put a measuring rod here, right, just in front of the auto level, it would read a number, right?
Now, in other words,
you get
like
that
from where we're
one.
standing. Say we're standing and we're looking through the scope in your example, right?
Yeah, like about 1.5 meters away. We're going to measure the distance above the water here,
to the crosshair,
right where
sure.
the tool is, yes. And we're going to come up with a number, let's say 1.5 meters, right?
That's fair.
Okay. Now, we're going to take that measuring rod over there and we're going to put it on the water over there. Is there going to be an extra 8 inches on the measuring rod?
No, it's going to be exactly the targets are the exact same height. The only
we're
thing,
not talking about the target, we're talking about the crosshairs that are
the crosshair will be at the exact same height. Yeah,
measuring rod.
Yep.
Over there, if we take the measuring rod over there.
Yes. The answer is yes. They're both going to be at 1.5 meters. No extra.
There's no extra 8 inches.
That's right.
Right. So where is the extra 8 inches that you're talking about? Where does that feature in this picture that you've got? Like, what are you trying to say?
That this is measuring angles, right? We can say auto level measures angles.
No, it doesn't. It's an auto level.
Well, can we call this 0 degrees looking straight out? That's an angle, right? If it's auto level, then
you can call those crosshairs about 1 inch away from your eye as you're looking through this thing.
What does an auto level? What does an auto level do?
It establishes a horizontal plane of reference,
which would be 0 degrees. Yeah.
There's no such thing as 0 degrees. It's not.
It establishes perfectly horizontal. Yeah. You just said it yourself.
Horizontal. Yes. It's not a degree. It's not a no degree.
If there's a deflection off of horizontal, we can measure that deflection. Yeah.
Right. So when you imagine a horizontal plane going out, you do realize that image is coming to the eyepiece, don't you?
Of course.
So the horizontal that you see is just a line in the crosshair at your eye.
Horizontal line, right?
Yes.
And it's horizontally level. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, then what's your point?
Well, the main surveyor said in one of his earlier videos that, he only goes 30 meters away for accuracy purposes because of this, because the image comes to the eyepiece and you need to be able to read the measuring rod. And for you, don't even imagine that there's any difference in the measuring rod, but you do claim 8 inches somewhere. I don't honestly get what you're trying to get at in that picture.
If you look at this picture,
you imagine that the measuring rod over there would read the same as it does over here.
Do you think that target? Do you think that target there has a known circumference or height? The literal orange thing in our scope. Do you think it has a known height?
You said that he set that up at the same height.
That wasn't my question. My question was, do you think that the height or the circumference, if it happens to be a circular target, is a known height or circumference? I'm not circumference, diameter.
What is the diameter of that target?
We can go over that, but my question is, do you think that it's known? It's something that can be measured?
Well, I think if the guy set it up, I think he should have set it up and told us how big the target is.
And you watched the video already or no?
No.
Okay, well, let's watch it.
I'm waiting for you to tell us. You tell me what's going on.
Okay, give me a sec. So that target is... Oop, hold on one second. That was quick. You went fast. Make sure I get this quality 1080p so I can read it and take a good snapshot. Okay, here we go. This looks to be target 1 because it's early in the video. It's at 37 seconds or so. Yeah, 38 seconds if you care to look. Does 61 inches sound okay? So this is a better photo. I should have just waited. Point is you can grab these from the video, but I actually haven't done the math through the video. I just took the observation and it's clearly more than a few inches. And we'll go to the other side.
tape. Looks like all new gear to me. It's like
it does look pretty
brand new, doesn't it?
It does look pretty slick.
And you think it is to show that there's no drop?
Well, on a flat Earth there would be no drop. On a globe Earth there would be approximately 8 inches over the course of a mile.
Yeah, but you said that when we were to put the measuring rod over there, you said that it would read the same, didn't you?
So it's like the idea of reciprocal zenith angles. They would bow very slightly, but when you're shooting out horizontally from a target to another target, you're going perfectly horizontal. That line is going to be above the second target at 1 mile by 8 inches, right?
Yeah. So if you would put the measuring rod over there, that would read an extra 8 inches than what it does from over here.
I'm so sorry. I got distracted. Can you say that again, please?
Right. But earlier on, right, we said that if we were to measure 1.5 meters, right, or like let's say 5 foot.
Sure. Yeah, 1.5 meters is fine. I'm okay with that.
Well, we're adding 8 inches, so I don't want to be adding to meters. So let's say 5 foot, right?
Sure.
You read 5 foot over here. So then now you're looking over there in the distance and you've got the same measuring rod on the water. And I asked you last time, would you read an extra 8 inches?
No, you would not. You would read 61 inches. Right. They would both be 61 inches above the water, right? Let's just say that the target, the middle, if you look at that second image, like up, right? 61 inches is the middle. Or
I'm not talking about the target. I'm talking about the crosshairs in the tool.
Which happens to be in the middle of the target, right? You would agree with that based on simply viewing the eyepiece directly in the middle of the orange target in the photo? So we're both right? Can we agree on that?
I don't even know why you're looking at a target. You just put a measuring rod there over there, right?
Then just say the eyepiece. The eyepiece says the target, so that's fine. We can go with yours. Looking right through the eyepiece. Yes, 61 inches. Go ahead.
Would it read an extra 8 inches at the crosshair over there?
When you're looking out horizontally, the horizontal line when you're looking for the target across the water is going to be 8 inches above the target on a perfectly horizontal line, just like the globe model says.
Right, so that it would read 5 foot 8 inches.
Let's just call it 69 inches for the sake of keeping it easy. It's at 61. Yeah. We'll add 8 to it. It would be 69 inches. The crosshair, if we measured it, because again, I think we can clearly see that there is a known height of this. Yeah. We can take the pixels. If we wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, we could take the pixels and, and do the measurement that way. But obviously your auto level is going to be able to dictate the difference between it.
Just read it on the measuring rod, right?
When you say measuring rod, you mean like measuring tape, right? Like just that.
No, I mean like an actual measuring rod that surveyors use. But
I don't know
that you read.
Yeah. Right.
The numbers on them. Right.
Yeah. So I didn't see it.
I didn't read an extra 8 inches. But the problem with that is that when you actually do this surveying and differential leveling, that extra 8 inches would be classed as an elevation change of the land.
No, it would be a drop from horizontal. It would be classified as a drop from horizontal,
which would be classed as an elevation change.
Okay. So you get it.
Leveling.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but you know how water flows, right? To a lower elevation. But you're talking about the water level on the lake changing.
Does water not elevation. Wait, hold on. Does water not find its level?
Yeah, not over 8 inches though, right? There wouldn't be
over a mile, of course.
8 inches elevation over a mile.
Yep, there sure would be. Just like you see here.
The water
is going to be. What are you talking about? Hold on. Say that again. Let me make sure I understand you.
You're talking about an elevation change, 8 inches measured from.
There's going to be a drop from. There's going to be a drop from horizontal.
Yes. Measured drop from horizontal.
As you can see in the photos that I supplied, yes.
That's called, in surveying, an elevation change.
No, that's not. The elevation above the water is exactly the same.
No, you've just stated that there's an 8-inch change in elevation, a drop from horizontal.
That's because the Earth is a sphere. The elevation is the same. The elevation is the same. That's fine. You can contest that later, but
you have an elevation drop. You're not following your logic.
Hold on, Steve. I want to hear what Bev's saying. Then we can talk. Go ahead, Bev. What am I misunderstanding?
You're missing what Steve's trying to tell you. Like you have just stated there's an 8-inch elevation change of the water across that lake.
No, of the drop from horizontal.
Yes, that is what we call an elevation change.
No, it's not.
Yep. Yes, it is.
The elevation above the water is 61 inches on both sides of the lake.
But you've got an extra 8 inches. You've just said that.
Yes, because horizontal does not mean level.
That's a drop from horizontal.
Right. Because horizontal does not mean level.
I know, right? You've only ever watched videos. Like I said earlier, you know that this guy isn't a surveyor, right? Because
that's the genetic fallacy.
Bev, you know he's not a surveyor because of what he's doing.
Bev,
right?
that's the genetic fallacy.
What he's doing has led you to believe that there's a drop in elevation of the water across a mile. Now that's his fault.
No, the water is 61 inches measured to each of the targets. There's no difference in elevation across the lake from one side to the other.
But
the difference is
a drop from horizontal of 8 inches.
That's right. Right, because level does not mean flat.
Right, so are you actually saying that horizontal is sloping upwards?
Horizontal is going straight at 0 degrees, right? Or 90 degrees, however you want to interpret it, but straight across, a straight line.
So the water's dropping from that then?
There you go.
Yeah, but the water doesn't drop because, water flows.
Well, then how do you explain the image?
I explain the image by saying it's not a surveyor that's doing it.
That's the genetic fallacy. Try again.
He put the rod
That's
in
not what surveyors do. Surveyors don't measure an elevation change of water over a mile with an
Again, there's no elevation change. There's no elevation change over a mile.
You have
there's a drop from horizontal.
From horizontal.
Right. That doesn't mean that because horizontal does not mean flat. I mean, flat does not mean level, excuse me.
The auto level is a tool that establishes a horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah. The genetic fallacy is a logical error where an idea, argument, or person is judged as good or bad solely based on its origin or source rather than the current merits or content. That's the AI overview. Would you agree with that definition?
I've actually done this surveying. I did it for 2 years.
Then where's your evidence? Let's take a look at it.
Well, you just stated
you are looking at mine.
8-inch elevation change.
No, you keep saying that, but you keep saying it incorrectly.
Well, all right. If it's not an elevation change of the water, is it an elevation change of the horizontal? Because it's got to be an elevation change of one of them. For fuck's sake.
There's no elevation change in the water because they're both measured to 61 inches above the water.
So is it the horizontal that changes in elevation then?
The horizontal is established at 8 inches higher than the target because of the fact that
it's sloping upwards.
It's not sloping upwards. Level.
I mean, you've got a problem, haven't you? Because the water's not changing.
No,
and the horizontal's not changing. You might
don't do
have
this.
to end up saying that level is actually horizontal.
No, because you're choosing to forget what I said, Bev. So don't do that.
Okay.
Because what I said is that horizontal is at 0 degrees straight out, and that level does not mean horizontal. Level means following the liquid parts of Earth, which at 1 mile is going to drop 8 inches from horizontal. Okay, so it's not sloping upwards. So try again.
Right, the water is dropping.
You just contradicted yourself there.
I don't think so. But what do you mean water is dropping? Hold on, Steve. What do you mean water is dropping? Try thinking.
Look, you're saying that it's dropping 8 inches. What is it that's dropping 8 inches?
The target is 8 inches lower than horizontal.
Okay, and the target is a certain distance above the water.
61 inches on both sides, yes. We've been over this.
It's an 8-inch change.
Deflection, yes.
Now, that is either you imagine that the water is 8 inches below, dropped, change in the difference of the horizontal from here to there, hence differential leveling, right? An elevation change of the land. That's what it would be measured.
You forgot to say target.
To put a measuring rod over there, it would read an extra 8 inches, and you would know that over there has dropped 8 inches because you've read it on the measuring rod.
Right, because horizontal doesn't mean level. You understand now.
Okay.
Don't play this
now
game.
you've got the level dropping 8 inches in elevation.
Level is following the liquid parts of Earth.
Is that what level does?
It follows the liquid parts of Earth. You know this.
And that drops 8 inches.
That
per mile squared over short distances.
Level, the way you're talking, you're not paying attention to yourself.
Get him, Steve.
Yeah, get me, Steve. What you got?
Well, first off, you're changing horizontal, not being level. So in that, what we're doing is we're giving you credit for that distance, and we're just pretending that we do it that far, which is no problem, no big deal. You're not surveying or nothing anyway. But when you call a gun, what's that?
It's got a lot of new equipment, right, in order to be able to do this thing that
right. That's what I'm saying.
Do.
Yeah, we're giving him the equipment, and we're just pretending it's accurate, right? So me and you both know the gun is set up level. He looks across the lake, and he has an 8-inch differential leveling. No big deal. But what he's not understanding is that fact right there. It's an 8-inch from where he's putting the rod is an 8-inch different elevation than where the gun is set up. Now you've got one problem, possibly. You would have to, the gun is just a hair off at 1 mile. You could possibly, it wouldn't take much of a be off for 8 inches. But what you're talking, the way you're talking, me and Bev both know you kind of don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, explain what's wrong with the observation.
It's nothing wrong with it. It's just that you have an 8-inch elevation difference.
Right.
For what you're
just
doing.
Like the globe predicts. What does the flat Earth predict?
Just like what the flat Earth would predict if you had a rod at a different elevation. It's a standard operation.
The rod's at the same elevation we've already talked about.
Reality, yeah. Bev just said it. Reality.
Of the water over there, right?
Yeah, reality is what. Bev just said it. Reality.
Reality is that the elevation is 61 inches above the water on both sides. So try again, Steve.
Elevation.
The elevations are not different.
So what you're saying is, I'll look up. What if I go to the other side of the lake and I look back the other way? Now it's going to be 8 inches lower again.
There you go. You're getting it. Yeah, absolutely.
Simultaneous.
So both ways. So both ways it curves. It curves both ways. That's what you guys claim. I know you claim that.
It's a drop from horizontal on both sides. Yes.
Or drop. Yeah,
that's
right. You can't see it as an optical thing where the image is compressed over the mile. Like you can't see it as that, and that being the reason why surveyors don't use these tools over those distances.
Yeah.
You have to read some sort of a drop in elevation over the distance, which is ridiculous because everybody knows that there's no drop in the water level over that distance.
Except for 8 inches.
Well, yeah, but I mean, unless you have to reciprocate it.
Well, of course.
Of course,
that's basic. This is just another way of presenting the same thing that reciprocal zenith angles would show. It's just another way of presenting it.
I know.
Over 1 mile.
You want to talk to me and Elderbear, right? We've got the best simultaneous below.
Well, hold on. We can go to that, but tell me what's wrong with my observation. Why?
It's not your observation, is it?
I can't. That's the genetic fallacy. We've been over this. Do you want me to read it again? I'm happy to.
Yeah,
I can read it.
Yeah, you just posted a video, right?
The genetic fallacy is a logical error where an idea, argument, or person is judged as good or bad solely based on its origin or source rather than its current merits or content. And that's what you're doing. So
I watched the video.
We're pointing out that you, right, have just got a video.
That's
You've
right.
got no concept of what's actually going on.
Don't even need a concept. Don't even need a concept. I could just show the video and let the video speak for itself.
Idea that there's an 8-inch drop over there.
Well, if by idea you mean presenting the evidence and then asking you what the issue is with it and you not being able to come up with it, then sure, we can go with idea.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong because that globe dictates that that's what has to happen.
Well, yeah, so that's what any sane person would say. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so
everyone
I don't know if globe. Yeah. Oh, Brenda left. So what's up? You want to rock? You want to rock me? Is that what you're? Or did you have any follow-ups, Steve?
You think This isn't my first rodeo, right? Jesse Kozlowski.
Everyone says that, and yeah, I agree. We've all been around.
Had his farewell swan song saying exactly that it's measurable. Right, that 8 inches, it's measurable. You can actually measure it.
Yeah.
Confident.
Well, I mean, the evidence speaks for itself. I don't have to really even say anything.
Yeah.
So,
do you understand what we're saying? Do you understand what we're saying? Like, if say, like, I've got 8 inches low, is what you're saying. So what we would do, we're trying to establish level. So we got over here, we got level over there. I'm 8 inches low. So what we would do is we'd drive a stake, lift that rod up till it hits right where we want it to hit. And then we would mark that when we'd have level, a straight line reading the rod, and then we'd have elevation at both places. You understand? That's how, that's what you're doing, is establishing level.
Yeah, level doesn't mean horizontal.
Well, that's a problem when you can say that. That's really a serious problem, because that's incorrect. 100%. That's incorrect.
No, it's not.
Yeah, level does never deviate from level.
Right. I would agree with that.
Measuring an elevation.
Try to say it a different way. You meant to say level doesn't deviate from horizontal, and that would be incorrect when it comes to surveying.
Well, either way you want to say it, doesn't deviate. Level doesn't deviate.
About surveying.
No, not either way you want to say it, Steve. Say it the correct way. Level does not deviate from level. You're correct on that. Level, however, does deviate from horizontal.
It doesn't
because
deviate from horizontal. All horizontals are parallel. No, all horizontals are parallel.
I don't disagree with that. You're mixing up your concepts here.
You're trying to invoke.
Level is not horizontal, right? You're saying all horizontals match horizontal. I agree. Level doesn't deviate from level. I agree. However, level deviates from horizontal, and you disagree with that. So speak clearly.
Point, level is horizontal, right?
That's what he's trying to say, but he's saying he's got so many like concepts that he's trying to get out that he's just misspeaking.
It is where it's perpendicular to vertical. Level is horizontal, right?
Absolutely, at that tangent for sure.
At every vertical point, level is the same as horizontal.
Yes, of course.
See, there you go, Steve. Everywhere where vertical is, level is the same as horizontal.
Everywhere that vertical is, level is perpendicular to horizontal at that one point. Is horizontal.
Is the same as horizontal. It's not perpendicular.
Right.
They're both
at
perpendicular to vertical, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
At one point.
So
every
vertical though, right?
At every measurable point. Yes, absolutely.
Everywhere where vertical is, the horizontal and level are the
You can
same.
say it 45 times. I'm just going to say yes. What's your point?
Okay. No, you just said that they're not the same, but
at one point, at each tangent, they are the same. Okay. If you take a line, right, from one to the other, then they're going to be different. Level and horizontal deviate. I showed that with my observation.
But not where it's vertical.
Say again. Say it again.
You said level and horizontal deviate, but they don't deviate where it's vertical. That's where they are the same.
At the tangent, yes, of a single point, right? Not a measurement.
Yeah, at every point where the vertical is.
Right, at every single point where there's vertical, yes. You're trying to obfuscate.
I'm not obfuscating at all.
Well, then quit saying it because it's pointless. You're just inserting.
You're going to go and now say that they deviate, but they
don't
deviate
when you make a measurement. They deviate when you make a measurement from one point to another. They deviate. Okay, that's different than what you're saying. You're saying at every vertical, horizontal, and level are the same. Absolutely, at every vertical, at every single point. In other words, but not when you make a measurement between points.
Measurement, right? Between
they deviate when you make a measurement between points.
And level.
I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
You're measuring a vertical distance when you say it's measurable. It's
vertical angle.
As a vertical distance.
A vertical angle.
Not with an auto level. It doesn't measure angles. It just measures distances. You put a measuring rod in front of an auto level. It doesn't measure angles at all. So you've got no chance of measuring an angle.
What does that crosshair show? Horizontal, right? Do you think that there's not a way that they establish level if that's showing horizontal? Because that would be silly.
Well, you can't measure an angle, right? You can't put a vertical thing over there in the distance and imagine that's an angle, can you?
So you're telling me that they didn't calibrate the vertical, the plumb, before they made this measurement? Is that what you're saying?
But you don't calibrate plumb. That's fucking stupid, isn't it? Who do you go to calibrate your plums?
Well, we spoke about this earlier,
Steve,
right?
Steve, who do you go to calibrate your plums?
Mhm.
I might have to get a heavier weight. That'd be about it.
Listen, Bev, you're funnier than that. Steve, don't laugh at that. That was stupid. You're better than that.
No, well, listening to
You did say calibrate your plum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plum. I didn't say
you did.
plums. I didn't say plums like you're talking about like fruit,
Plum.
right?
Yeah, well, when somebody invokes plum, we usually, like me and Bev, would claim plumb bob, because you got that machine there, the tool, and you're trying to, and you don't want to embarrass yourself, because you really are embarrassing yourself right now.
What does plum
Seriously.
establish, Steve?
And you were
Since I'm
never
embarrassing myself. What does plum establish?
No, if you were talking to professionals, which you're getting away with here on Discord, talking nonsense. This is what
How
we
do
were
you
talking about
calibrate
earlier.
vertical?
So you're telling me that plum is
Yeah.
not vertical, Steve? Is that what you're telling
Yeah,
me?
but how do you calibrate it?
They have
Yeah,
there is a leveler on the device, or it does it digitally nowadays with upscale
For
equipment.
plum?
Yes, for vertical.
But you're saying the line that shoots across the lake over there that we just established from the gun is level, and then you claim at the other side 1 mile that level line has dropped 8 inches. That just doesn't make sense. It's not feasible.
He just claimed that you
Level and
calibrate
horizontal
plum.
deviate. It's not a hard concept.
You just claim what, Bev?
He claimed that you calibrate plum. Now, I've taken an auto level to the shop to be calibrated, but I've never took a plumb bob to a shop to be calibrated. No. It seems fucking ridiculous to me.
All right. Well, take a look at this. All right. That is a theodolite.
Oh, you want to
simple demonstration. Do you see that compensator? Steve, take a look at that. That is what you're doing when you're leveling it. There's a circular compensator in the middle of the device.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. So what's all the jibber jabber? Yeah, cut it out.
That's not calibrated. That's setting the tool up.
That's establishing plum. That's establishing plum.
No, it's not.
Establishing plum.
That compensator on the top.
No, plum is vertical. It's like a plumb bob.
Are you going to sit here and are you going to make me show you the bullseye, the way that you calibrate vertical? Is that what you're actually going to make me do when I just put it on?
You calibrate vertical. You've said it again. What the hell are you talking about?
90 degrees.
You don't really know what you're talking about, do you?
No,
really?
You're obfuscating. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to clean your language.
Tell me what this. Okay, tell me what this compensator shows.
Calibrating vertical.
Tell me what this compensator is, then, Bev. I have it on my screen, but you can see it on yours.
I tell you what a compensator is.
Yeah, what is that bullseye-looking level? What is that doing? Is that establishing horizontal or is it establishing vertical?
Yeah, establishes it on the azimuthal plane.
There you go. Okay, so we can move on, right?
Yeah, well, plumb is what does vertical.
That's right. Now you get it.
Right? No, you said calibrating vertical.
Yes, when you calibrate plumb, then your horizontal is going to be directly out in front of you.
Plumb.
By lining up the dot in the middle of the stupid bullseye.
Plumb.
It might just be
a
moving the dot into the middle of that
issue that you've got.
What do you want to call it then?
Setting the tool up.
There you go. Calibrating it.
On
Same
the
thing.
azimuthal plane.
Yes, you're right.
Right. Well, that's a horizontal plane, not plumb. Plumb is vertical.
This is an illustration, and it's showing how you calibrate vertical.
You're about as far off as you can be from horizontal to vertical.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me how I'm far off.
Maximally opposed to one another, horizontal and vertical.
They're perpendicular to one another. Yeah, they're perpendicular to one another. There you go.
Yes.
So what's the issue?
You're on about calibrating vertical.
Yep. Which helps you establish horizontal. So you get it.
How do you calibrate vertical?
You see the compensator, right? You find the bullseye with that bubble. That bubble will sit in the middle of the bullseye, and that'll be plumb.
Yeah, but that's not calibration.
Of course it is.
Well, maybe to you, but again, I have to say,
to surveyors,
you don't really understand.
And so far you haven't.
Do you?
Right. And so far you haven't been able to show my misunderstanding. So I'm waiting for it.
When you do this on the tools, right? You do a 2-peg test, and that establishes that the tool is within calibration.
Yes.
Right now, if you find out that you cannot do a 2-peg test correctly, that means the tool is out of calibration. What you then do is you pack it up and you take it back and say, this tool needs to be recalibrated.
Nope.
And then it goes off to the recalibration shop, right? What you are talking about is setting the tool up so that you can then perform the 2-peg test to establish whether the tool is
the
within
2-foot screws, yeah.
calibration.
Leveling the instrument.
That's setting the tool up.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the issue?
You think it's calibrating a plumb?
Maybe I'm misusing the term.
That's exactly what I said at the beginning. I'm
Okay,
here
let's
to
just
help you improve your wordage.
Well, that's fine, but you can also help me improve my misunderstanding of how the experiment doesn't show 8 inches drop from horizontal.
It's not an experiment. It's just a guy using a tool.
Oh, an observation. I'm sorry.
Range. Yeah, he's just making a.
There you go.
Do you know that placing another optical device upon the lens of the tool invalidates the picture for any surveying purposes whatsoever?
Explain the observation.
A guy has put a camera to the eyepiece and taken a picture, to which you have interpreted that there's a drop of the water in the distance.
Yep. What's wrong with the observation?
Crazy.
Yeah. Well,
we think it's crazy, to be honest with you.
The guy has deceived you, because that's not what's happening.
Right, and you
imagine it is, and you imagine surveyors do this sort of thing. But like I told you, surveyors don't do this sort of shit.
Right. So far, you haven't shown the deception. So the burden is on you to show the deception.
Yeah, we've shown you for the last hour, but you're being obtuse.
No, see, we can agree on the measurements. Even you, I think.
No,
we're
talking about the level line. See, you're also talking about a level line, and we're giving you a level line, but you're claiming the level line is moving. And if it's moving, it's no longer level. So you're mixed up in your language.
No, you're wrong.
You can't
it's
change.
An 8-inch
you
drop
can't change
from horizontal.
No, sir.
Yes,
you
you're
can't
saying
change
it's the drop. Your wordage says drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
8-inch drop from horizontal.
A vertical change.
Yeah.
There's no elevation change. Absolutely not. Over the course of 8 inches between two.
Is a vertical
hold on a
change.
second. Between two distances on Earth, over the course of 1 mile, all else equal, there will be a deviation of 8 inches between those two locations if you're using targets. There's going to be a deviation because of the curvature of Earth is 8 inches per mile squared. That is our model. That is what we say. That is what we see in reality. So there's no issue with the measurement. Okay. What you're talking about, Steve, and what you're trying to prove, and what Bev is probably alluding to, is reality. The fact that I'm being deceived by this observation. Yes. And so I'm waiting to hear what the deception is, because we agree on the measurement.
You won't go to reality. You refuse to actually go to reality. See, you never operating that tool.
It is reality, though. He's seen somebody do this, right? Got brand new equipment.
Yeah.
What is the purpose? What do you think this job is? If this surveyor
doesn't matter
this job, what is he doing it for?
It doesn't matter what he's doing it for. It's an observation.
Reality of it was.
It doesn't matter who's paid him.
No, you were at an 8-inch elevation difference. That's reality.
No, we've already gotten past that, Steve. We're talking about a deception looking through the apparatus.
No, right, you're talking nonsense, and you really shouldn't be allowed to even talk because you're talking nonsense.
Well, isn't that just great? We can't have different ideas and we can't talk about
the truth there, Steve, right? Are you trying to keep it quiet that there is actually a way of measuring the globe, over a mile from surveyors, and they've been hiding it from everyone, particularly the flat earthers, that this is actually measurable, that the drop of level over distance is measurable, right?
See, if I wasn't here, Steve, Bev would be pretending to be in my position right now. That's what he's trying to tell you, because he's just going to be a contrarian. No. Of course he is. Yeah, that's what he does.
I do actually have an auto level, and we're going to do it fucking way better than you. We got 27.
I didn't do this.
Remember the
you can do it.
I can't wait. Know you didn't do it. You wouldn't talk like this if you did do it.
That's the genetic fallacy. Explain the evidence.
No, it's not. No,
yes,
it's not.
It is.
It's so simple what you did. It's so simple. There's an 8-inch elevation change. Nothing.
There's not an 8-inch elevation change. We've been over this.
8-inch elevation change.
No, remember earlier when you said it doesn't make sense? that's clear because of the way you're speaking. So you shouldn't talk.
Yeah, it doesn't make
about this
sense what you're trying to tell me.
Exactly. So you
Hello?
shouldn't. You
Yeah.
should let other people that it does make sense to talk about it.
No,
And I've tried to explain it to you.
To talk. You shouldn't even be allowed to talk. But Bev's accusing me of hiding the 8-inch per mile. You
Okay.
know, but,
Surveyors have been
Fine,
hiding
fine.
it for years. It's actually
fine.
there. Like all it took was this guy to do this video, and he's convinced. This guy. So I think we should let everybody know. Really, I mean, you
Yeah,
can do
just
it.
so
I mean, it's
we
a
lost.
mile.
It's
you
a
know?
ball. It's a
Anyone
fucking
can do
ball.
it. It's a mile.
Maybe you know what? I've presented my evidence. I haven't heard a refutation. Maybe someone else wants to present something else or talk about whatever they want to. So that's fine. I'll take a break.
Is your evidence a YouTube video? Because I know that I've heard people mock flat earthers for similar sort of things. But is that your evidence, a YouTube video?
A YouTube video accompanied with data, yes.
What's the data accompanying with it? The data within the video.
It's in the video. Are you not going to take any time to look at it?
So it is just the video. It's not got
No.
anything.
No. There's data. There's data.
Video.
There's written data within the video. The data is not the video.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
No.
I did an optics test, right? Because on the back of one of these things, in fact, you know, like when you showed that little diary with the pencil scribblings, right? Well, I noticed that he'd marked down that on another video. And he said he did it over 500 meters.
And it had the exact same text on it, and it was in a different video. And it was at Williams Reset on June 12th, 2019, right? With 53 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what you're telling me. Go ahead and present that.
I did. I put an auto level on the beach in Southport. And
okay, that's fantastic.
Showed everybody. I did it. I did it live on Discord.
That's great.
People. I put that on. It was on EA.
That's a different argument than what you started with, Bev.
To show people what you can actually see.
Yeah.
Through an auto
what you were trying to insinuate, at least the way I heard it, and you're going to say that it wasn't, was that he put the same exact thing in two different videos. Is that not what you said?
No, that's not.
No.
Okay.
You interpreted that.
I may have misunderstood that. Okay, but I'm not interested in a different.
I noticed that he was going to 1 second accuracy. So I chose to show people what 1 second of accuracy is over that distance.
Okay.
And whether
that's fantastic.
Whether that could actually be read on the measuring rod.
What's 1 second over the course of a mile?
Over a mile?
Yep.
I don't know. Over 500 meters, it's 2.1 millimeters.
There you go.
Vertical.
So that's your error bars, right? Hell of a lot less than 8 inches. How many 500 meters is what, about an eighth of a mile?
Yeah, but what I showed was that you can't measure to a 0.1 millimeters over 500 meters.
Well, even if it's 2 millimeters of error bars, right?
The crosshair is way bigger than that.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be very tricky.
Read that sort of stuff. Yeah. So the point was that this guy's writing down to the second, and you can't actually measure that.
Of course you can.
What, to the second?
Yeah. Do you want me to post the accompanying photo for his final?
What, he's scribblings in a book?
You mean calculations and measurements?
I can write something down if you want me to.
I don't want you to. I want you to explain why what he wrote down is incorrect.
That's an auto level. That's an auto level that you're looking at in that video.
Yeah, you're saying words.
Right.
No. We're talking about two different videos now. What you're talking about is the scribbles in the handbook. The scribbles in the handbook is looking at the horizontal drop from tangent of the horizon and the distance. Okay. So we're talking about two different things. What you're talking about from the scribbles are measurements based on this calculation. That's what level is. Level at that distance is off by almost 8 minutes. Okay.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't either.
Do you see where the crosshairs are?
Yeah, they're on the horizon.
That's right. And what horizontal is
visible horizon there, but I mean, we don't know if that's the actual.
This is at eye level. This was after he flipped it over from 90 for corrections to make sure that it was actually horizontal, right? That's what they do. Okay.
Just out of curiosity, how do you determine that theodolite, you got it set up level? Just out of curiosity, how are you figuring that level line is going to drop? I mean, just out of curiosity. How did that happen?
Because of the curvature of Earth. Is that what you're getting after?
Why would the level line? Yeah, but the level line is floating by itself. You understand that, right? It's an eyepiece. So it's imaginary shooting across the lake.
No, that's a
And then you hold the
horizontal line.
rod.
It's not level, it's
It's a
horizontal.
horizontal level line. Yeah, we all
No, they're
understand
different.
this.
They're different. You're
No,
mixing the
but
terms.
but you're
Horizontal does
still
not
trying
mean
to.
level.
But I'm still trying to figure out how that line is 8 inches off is no longer level. You
This is a
understand that?
different observation.
No, it's no. You can't change level. It's not possible. You can
Level
only
does not
lie
mean
about it.
horizontal. Level doesn't mean horizontal, Steve. We've been over this.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. See,
Anywhere you
that's
go, in the real world, level and horizontal will be represented pretty close to each other.
that's
Can
not.
I ask
They might be.
what do you
They might be
interpret
close
from that
depending on how
picture?
far away, right? But they're not going to be the same.
Yeah,
When
they're going to be the
in
same.
picture
Yep.
and it says there, this line is at eye level.
Yep.
What does that mean to you?
Horizontal.
Right. Well, I'll tell you again. That line is a crosshair that's in the eyepiece, right? So as you're putting the camera to that, or what would be your eye, right? Those crosshairs are about half an inch away from your eye. So they are actually at eye level. Now, do you imagine those crosshairs that are right at your eye? Do you imagine them over there in the distance? Do you imagine that's where they're projected? Or do you actually acknowledge that the image from over there is coming to your eye?
Coming to
You're
you.
seeing the image through
I'm
the
not
crosshair.
interested. I'm not interested in
Basically,
going through another observation. Okay.
I'm trying to work out what it is you imagine you're seeing in that picture.
Which picture?
Yeah.
Tell me which one specifically.
The one that's got 90 in red ink, right? That's not a reading on the theodolite. That's something somebody has wrote on that thing, right? Now, whether it does actually read 90 is irrelevant, right? Because it's just crosshairs and looking at the horizon. Now, you have to acknowledge that surveyors don't do that. There's nothing that can be measured or gained from that picture. Nothing at all. So
do surveyors know how to level their?
If you're going to write in red markers or whatever on the thing, 90. What's 90?
I'm not playing these semantic games. Okay, he's showing that that's
you
horizontal.
Horizontal 0.
You can call it 0. You can call it 90. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you can have it as either perpendicular.
You know what I mean.
Right, yeah, of course. But I mean, it is wrote down on that thing as 90, not 0. That's what you called it earlier. Now, in the other piece, it says this line is at eye level. Well, of course, because it's in the fucking eyepiece.
No, that's wrong.
Where you put your eye.
Eye level is synonymous with horizontal, and you know that. So don't play these fucking games.
That eye level is a vertical level. What's the level of your eye? Well, it's the height. It's the vertical height your eye.
Eye level is synonymous with horizontal looking through the eyepiece.
No, it's a
Do you disagree?
Vertical level. Eye level is a vertical level, just like sea level is a vertical level.
No, you're wrong. You're telling me that he's looking.
What does that picture show you? Tell
that
me,
crosshair is showing you the horizontal.
you?
That crosshair is showing you what horizontal is. Simple as that.
We know what horizontal is.
Yeah, where the crosshair is. What's your next question?
Crosshair is perpendicular, right?
Yes.
Vertical and horizontal.
It's a little baby plus. That little baby plus represents horizontal as we're looking through the center of the eyepiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go on, what else does the picture show you?
You can ask specific questions. The picture speaks for itself.
It speaks to me of somebody who's wrote some marker pen on a picture of something that surveyors wouldn't do.
Nobody has that penmanship. It was added digitally.
Yeah. Why?
For illustrative purposes. You understand that. Are you going to ask any relevant questions, or are you just going to try to nitpick stupid shit?
I'm working out what you've gained from this.
The same thing that you gained from it and pretending not to. Okay, so quit playing. I'm going to sit back though. Bill's been posting some stuff. He can talk about his observations if he wants to. I'm going to chill.
Yeah,
thanks, Bev. I enjoyed it. Bev, I enjoyed it. Steve, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'll talk again soon. I'm just going to sit back. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's getting late here. I'm going to go. It has been good. Buck, I hope we get a chance to chat at some point.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
think if we
Buck? Yeah.
can, once I've got to show Dave Weiss the horizontal proof of globe, I think you guys will really enjoy it, because Nathan's not going to like it at all, because he loves horizontal, doesn't he? And he's going to be really upset when the horizontal distance proof of globe comes out.
What was it you wanted to talk about?
Have you got an appointment set up with Dave?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, he doesn't.
He doesn't want
He
to talk
doesn't
to you?
want to actually,
Yeah.
he's pretending that he's struggling with Discord.
Was I mistaken in hearing that you wanted to talk to Buck? I might have just heard that because I saw his name in the chat. Did you actually say Buck, Bev, or did you just?
Yeah.
Is that what I heard? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I can't now because it's late. I go and get some kit.
All right, cheers, Bev. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
enjoyed
it's
it.
coming
Have
up
a good
to the
night, man.
weekend, isn't it? Yeah. All right, catch you later, guys.
All right, later, bud.
Cheers.
See ya.
All right.